So my name's Cheryl Haswell, and I'm the nurse lead for recruitment and retainment here at GHC, working with the recruitment team.
My name's Helen. I am a research support officer. I work at the Focus Research Centre at Cheltenham General.
So I'm Laura Whitcomb. I'm an occupational therapist and I work as an integrated respiratory practitioner in the Gloucestershire Respiratory Service.
My name's Sam Lonnan. I was the infection prevention and control team lead before I then moved into the role of decontamination lead.
So I have adapted my work-life balance. I took early retirement and then I started working as a bank nurse for recruitment and retainment. So what I don't do anymore is plan too much and fit too much in, the weekend in particular. What I do is I pace myself. And when I learnt the meaning of the word pace, it meant a lot to actually recognise you are going to get fatigued. And when you are fatigued, you just need to rest.
Obviously, pacing is sort of one, and sort of learning to sort of know your body and what sort of things will set you back. So to try and sort of plan out my week a little bit better, you know, even in my work diary, sort of look, and it's quite easy to think, oh, okay, I've booked in a bit too much here. You know, how can I, can I move this to somewhere else? Can I do this a little bit differently?
I found that the role of in the infection control team, I couldn't keep up. My line manager moved me sideways into a role where I was literally on my own, and that was decontamination lead. Now, there was a certain amount of relief when that role was given to me, but that was tempered by the fact that I used to feel that I did a good job. I did think to myself, oh, I've been put out to pasture. He's getting on a bit now, etc. But very, very quickly, I realised that there was a huge amount of work to do that was just as important as the infection control team. And I was able to utilise my expertise that I've built up over the years in infection control to do that job. Brain fog is a difficult thing to really describe. I'm sure I have suffered with it from time to time, but you almost convince, well, and this is probably one of the issues for me, is that I convince myself that it's simply forgetfulness. When I wake up and I ache all over, I just think it'll be all right. I'll walk it off. I'll be fine. And if you're feeling particularly rotten, or one of those bizarre days where you do suddenly find yourself out of breath, I won't assign it to long COVID, which I do understand is self-denial. I'm determined not to admit to it, even though I know that it's something. So it's a funny position to be in, this interview, discussing long COVID, but at the same time convincing myself that I don't suffer with it. I'll always try to do as well as I can. And this is sort of it just in personal life. But sometimes you just can't. But and something I've learned is perhaps rather than keep pushing and failing at something, I will gauge the level of success I know I can get to. Gone are the days when I'd keep going and it didn't matter. Okay, you might have a line the following day or might feel a little bit achy, but now it's managing what you're doing and what you're expecting yourself to be able to do.
Before I even got COVID, I was very much sort of burning myself out and doing too much. So it has sort of really sort of made me realise that and taught me, it's really important to actually prioritise and look after your own health, which I don't think I'd done before.
But it did get better. They weren't all those symptoms all the time, and I'm just left at the moment with no smell, limited taste and ongoing fatigue issues. So I suppose what I'm saying is there is hope that your symptoms can get better and you can improve with time.
I would say that now a lot of them have eased off, but the ones that I'm still very much affected by is predominantly fatigue. I do get sore throat and headaches, and I do sometimes get a high temperature, nausea, and body aches, post-exertional malaise, and sometimes some variable difficulties with sleeping, and they're sort of my remaining ones, really.
And in many respects, I do feel that I've been very fortunate in the way the trust has looked after me, supported me. Yes, there were some wobbles, and I'm sure that they must have been scratching their heads thinking, what on earth is Sam doing now? but hopefully I've sort of come through, and here we are today.
I went to the long COVID support group that was offered by the trust, and I found that helpful to talk to people, and it was quite interesting, who had similar symptoms and were feeling the same way. Yeah, I suppose usually I'm not a great person for joining groups. I'm not a group person, but I just find it really helpful to go along and listen to people, even if I said nothing. I joined the Fifth Sense charity group, which is for people with no smell and limited taste, and that was really helpful because I managed to attend a conference there, and to be with people with all the same problems was just quite enlightening, and it just made you feel you're not alone.
I'm now with the long COVID clinic. I've been with them for about a month, and it's almost like, yes, okay, somebody's listening to me. This is really good. This is really, it's nice to just feel validated again, I guess, you know, that this is their understanding and signposting me to different people.
Yeah, obviously the Bristol Fatigue Clinic was brilliant. They really helped sort of get me going again, and I did like a long COVID sort of 6-week course with others there. But yeah, some long COVID support groups. So on the back of the Bristol clinic, there was a long COVID sort of WhatsApp group set up, which has been really good, and also a couple of groups on Facebook as well. And I tend to find that I find the groups most supportive that actually give sort of quite like a mix of, you know, sharing their experiences, giving some sort of advice, and also giving some sort of positive experiences as well. It seems to have like a bit of a healthy balance.
GPs have been good, and I think it's because they've been, you sometimes hear that a patient will go and say, oh, I've got a terrible cold, a terrible headache, you must give me antibiotics, and GPs capitulate, whilst the GPs that I've spoken to have said, no, I don't think that's the best way to go about it. You're just delaying something that's going to come up in future. This is what we're going to do. And I've really appreciated that forthrightness.
To be with people with all the same problems was just quite enlightening, and it just made you feel you're not alone.
I would say the other main element of support that I've received is through support groups, 100% through long COVID support groups like the staff support group, and other ones that I've accessed, because you're getting lived experiences, you're listening to other people, you have those people who totally get what you're saying.